Congratulations on your recent game time.
Thank you.
Just how have you found it stepping up to A-League level?
It's the way I describe it is stressful because both the games we've been in they've been stressful, tight games. But I think defenders are at the best when they're focused, and I think that level of stress has sort of meant I've been focused, switched on, ready for things to happen, and that's kind of helped me. I've obviously got a lot of experience next to me, so positioning and stuff like that is never an issue because Scotty basically makes decisions for me.
Yeah. Um, Obviously you mentioned Scott, vastly experienced defender. What's the biggest thing you've learnt off him, this season being in and around the first team?
I actually I actually couldn't tell you. There's so many things. Like just before the game on Sunday, we were working in Wellington on Saturday on a pass that I was going to be doing. Like it was just me and him. Everyone else had started to get ready and go into the airport, and he stayed behind with me to work on it. There's little tips around stiffening up my ankle when I'm hitting a long ball to keep it flatter. It just it's all the time, so I couldn't really give you one thing. It's just lots of things.
Yeah. Obviously, if we go back to last May in the Under 20 World Cup, you, Finn, Lucas, you all started that first match together, Obviously, you've sort of seen Finn and Lucas be starters with the Phoenix from the start of the season. How much of a bond is there sort of between you three and sort of, how much is it, what's it been like sort of watching them get their go, but then, I guess more recently getting your turn as well?
There's a massive bond between us three. We're like, I usually room with Lucas. I have room with Finn. We're sort of like in the New Zealand camps, we're always put together, because we're the centre backs. And, seeing them playing at the start of the season, I was buzzing for them. Just I think Lucas has really come on, especially I think recently he's had some of his best games. I think Finn has shown that the question marks about him last season were unfair and that he's played really well this season. Um, and for me, it was just about patience, just waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah. What is the key with defending in this team? Obviously, there's an excellent defensive record, but what are the things you guys try to emphasize?
I think I could go through our whole tactical thing on defending. I could go through our whole plan, but I think we've placed such an importance on it. We have defensive reviews after every game. We have sessions just with the back four, just with the back four and sixes. So everyone knows their roles, everyone knows each other's roles. So if anyone needs to fill in, they're there. And I think the biggest thing about defending is attitude. I think everyone in the team has an attitude to defend. You see our strikers making 70-meter runs back to help us when we're being counter-attacked. I think everyone is working hard for clean sheets.
Yeah, I think if you start giving away the tactical plan, Brenton might be hitting the quit button very quickly. Um, but just lastly, you're in Perth this week. It's a whole week to sort of prepare, for Saturday night in that time zone. How has it been so far?
Oh, it's good. We haven't trained yet. We arrived a couple of days ago, and it is boiling. But that's what you expect with Perth. I think the lads have just been chilling out. We played a few games together, had a few laughs, but no, it's been good.
Cool, thank you.
I can't hear you. Just
You want to text anything, Bonnie, or type anything, or
I've got
we'll just
I've
hold
got a
fire for
couple.
a moment? Yeah,
I've got
you
a bit
keep
more.
going, Andrew.
I can yeah.
We'll wait.
Isaac, can you just talk to me a bit about you young guys? You already touched on the sort of bond you three sort of defenders have, but Finn Conchi's in the squad this year. Who else? Luke Supik. Guys who have just stepped up from the academy. yeah, what is it that Chiefy or some of the older players have done to, I guess, really help you guys, perform?
I think the biggest thing is just giving us that belief. They've shown from the start. I think it was very clear from the start. Even the start of pre-season, we got a phone call, all of us young boys, and said, "Look, we want you to come in and train with us. We've got a few contracts on the table. It's up to you to go and take it." And I think the ones who did really showed themselves in training. And then I think from there, it's just been, they've shown us that belief. They started Lucas and Finn in the first game. For us, we know that we've played with those players for so long, and we're aware of their abilities, and we saw how well they were doing, and that just breeds confidence throughout the group. That when we get our opportunity, we can, step in and perform. And I think the biggest thing that they've done is made sure that even when we aren't in the team, we're still working hard and we're still training, and they tell us how thin our squad is and how if any experienced player gets injured, we're straight in. So we just need to stay ready.
It's perhaps a hard one to sort of quantify, but do you have any examples of sort of, where you've sort of, perhaps when you're off by yourself or you're at home at night or whatever, you felt that sense of belief, like you're sort of thinking about, what you're going through day to day, and you sort of can realize that having that backing is actually making you feel better, or do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's been a few moments where Griff's has pulled me aside and said, how are you feeling? Are you staying, are you ready? Because, if anything happens, you're coming in. And that gives me a lot of confidence. But I think the biggest moment was before the first game I started against Brisbane. We were in the hotel. Griff's had a little meeting with me on little things he wanted me to do. And he just said, "Are you confident?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You should be. I'm confident for you. I've seen the levels of training you've been training." And he gave me that belief, and that meant if he, who's an experienced coach, thinks I'm ready, then I know I'm ready to go in and play.
Cool. Have we got you there, Bonnie?
Yes, hi. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
God, it's like my worst fear, having technical difficulties. Sorry if this has already been asked while I was away. You guys conceded 3 goals last time against Perth. What's kind of the plan to not let that happen again?
We haven't done our meetings yet. We'll be doing them today after the interview. But I think last time, we conceded 3 goals, but if you look at sometimes you can concede 3 goals in a game and defend well. If you look at the goals individually, it was a slip and a mistake for the first one. I can't remember what the second one is, but I know the third one was a 45-yard screamer. There's certain goals you just got to go. That was a really good goal, but I'm sure we'll look at things that we can improve on from the last game, and I'm sure we'll have a better plan.
Obviously, there's a lot of you a lot of you young ones that have kind of come through from the academy and things like that. What do you think it is that Fifi has done to kind of, bring the best out of you guys? What is it that, makes you guys click and see you guys get all these opportunities?
I think the biggest thing about Chiefy is he's approachable. I think he creates an environment where you want to be in it and you're not scared. I don't think any of us young boys at any point have been scared. We might be in trainings, not having a good training, thinking, "Oh, I'm not at the level at the minute." But he doesn't attack you for that and make you scared for the next session. Obviously he'll be honest with you when you aren't at the level, but he creates an environment where failure is okay. That little failures are okay, and that means it gives you a lot more confidence to be braver and try certain things. And I think you've even seen that with Luke Supik when he comes on. 17 years old. He's not scared. He's not playing it safe, keeping the ball. One of the first things he did against Sydney was nutmeg someone. He gives you that confidence.
And just kind of lastly, obviously, as we've been talking about, you know, you've had some good minutes recently and you've had a couple of starts. What are kind of the goals for you, you know, short term or long term, and is the Olympics on the cards?
I really hope so. I really want to go to the Olympics. For me, it's just about focusing on what I can control and, you know, training as well as I can train and playing as well as I can play when I get my opportunity. And if I come out the team, still train the same way, still train with that intensity, and have in the team, then play as well as I can, and just hope that I make that training squad near the Olympics, and I can prove to the coaches how good I am.
Have you been, you know, having any conversations with Bays about, you know, what you need to do and what he's looking for?
No, I haven't had any conversations with him about that. We've had conversations at camps and stuff about what I need to improve on and what he wants me to do. I think the biggest thing for him is he wants me to be pushing into the Phoenix and playing as much as I can. And, you know, he gives me a message after every game I play, you know, just saying, well done, and it's good to see you starting.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Isaac.
Thank you.
Can I just ask one last one? Sorry.
Yeah.
But Isaac, you know, you've been a leader in the academy setup before sort of, you know, coming into the first team. You know, you must sort of see, you know, guys who are still in that sort of reserve team set up around the place that from time to time, you know, a lot of people you would have grown close to. How much are these sort of you guys like you and the ones that have come through this season, you know, trying to sort of, I guess, pay it back or pay it down to that next crop and sort of, you know, show them what's possible?
Yeah, I think, you know, the academy is a big thing in the club. I think there's been a huge importance placed on it this year, especially. But I think for us young ones, we know what it's like to be a young player stepping into the environment and feeling, you know, nervous and, you know, not, you know, feeling a bit out of place. I think that's where I think you see more of us young ones now trying to help the younger ones who are coming up, you know, make sure that they're a bit more comfortable, you know, talk to them, just simple things to make them more comfortable in the environment so that they can perform. Because I think there's no doubt of the quality that's coming through the academy at the minute.